Welcome, everybody. Let's give everybody another minute or so to jump on and we'll get started here. Hope everyone's day is off to a great start. See you guys in just a minute. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. Let's get my co-pilot on here, Alicia. Alicia, you could unmute. Let me see here.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, all right. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Awesome. Everybody, this is Alicia. She's going to be my co-pilot here. We've been doing this for some time now. And I just want to thank you all for joining us today and our presentation here. I want to let you know how the structure of this call is going to go. We're going to get into detail about the program you were invited here to see today. There is a Q&A box at the bottom of this chat. I believe you all can see it there. And throughout this presentation, which shouldn't be too long, if you have a question, just pop it in there, pop it into the Q&A box as we're going along, and I'll try to hit all those questions towards the end. Because, when you have information like this for the first time, it's like drinking out of a fire hose and we just get, overwhelmed with how much information there is. So if you're confused or uncertain about something, pop it into the Q&A box. Alicia and I will help you answer it at the end. And for now, I'm just going to go into the structure of exactly what it is we're doing here. So Alicia, I'm going to share my screen. Just kindly let me know if you see everything clearly.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, guys, welcome. So the name of our company that we're partnered with is called Trevorium. And just a little background of Trevorium. It's in business for over 11 years now. It's family owned. It's a debt-free company. And basically it's a private travel membership club. These are the CEOs here, David and Adela Hart. Before we dive in, I know a lot of you come from the travel world or like to travel. I want to let you guys in on a little secret here, a big secret here, I call it. And it's basically how the travel industry works. Because in order to understand what we do here, I want you guys to see the overarching picture of how the travel industry actually works. So you guys have heard of Expedia, Travelocity, Hotels.com, Trivago, Kayak, Orbitz, Hotwire. I can go on and on. So these companies make their money by acquiring discounted and wholesale hotel rates and resort rates, and then reselling them at a profit, kind of like how a car dealership will buy a car at this price and sell it for a price higher in order to make that spread, right? So all these companies I just mentioned, what most people don't know is they're all owned by the Expedia Group. So there's technically this legal monopoly between Expedia and all of its partner companies that they own in order to capitalize on the market. So when you think you're price shopping, you're essentially not. They control the prices of all those sites, and they're making the spread in between. And these online travel giants have spent over $14 billion on marketing in 2022 alone. I mean, Expedia has spent over $4 billion in advertising alone. So it just goes to show you, they need to make this spread for a reason. And guess who has to cover that difference? Guess who has to cover those marketing fees and those advertising fees? I'll give you a wild guess. It's you and I when we book on these sites. That's why they need to charge that spread in order to stay in business, right? Great. So now that we understand how that works, what's Trevorium's model and how does Trevorium's model work, right? Well, Trevorium gets those same discounted wholesale rates as Expedia and all the other guys do. We get them for the same price, right? But we don't upcharge for it. So we get them for the same price, and Expedia has to charge up here in order to make it worth it. Trevorium doesn't do that. And how is that possible? And why would they do that? because Travorium's model is the Costco model of travel. It's the membership model of travel. Essentially, when you use a membership model, that is why they allow us to purchase those trips at the same wholesale rate they purchase them for, because they don't need to make their money off the spread. They make their money off of their membership model. Think Netflix, right? So now, also keep in mind, Travorium doesn't pay for advertising. This is another way that we get to keep the membership cost as low as possible, and to keep the wholesale pricing there. So now that you understand essentially how the travel industry works and the prices that everyone gets it for, and how some companies charge a spread, and a company like Travorium uses a membership model in order to charge just what they pay for at those wholesale prices, I want to now dive in quickly to what exactly a membership at Travorium gets you, or gets a client, or gets a consumer, right? So there's three different platforms when you sign up for Travorium. Platform number one is called the travel platform. This looks like your everyday Expedia platform. You punch in where you want to go, the dates you want to go there, how many people, and you hit search, right? What's cool about this platform is Travorium gives those rates back to you at the price that they get them for. So for example, we did a search here from September 2nd. If you could see here, Alicia, can you see my screen clearly?
That bigger? Is it possible to
Let me
make
see if
that
I can make this bigger for everyone. How's that?
much better?
So we did a search here from September 2nd to September 5th in Vegas as just an example. And these are the rates that Travorium will get with its wholesale membership model. And these are the prices it sells it directly back to us for. So we looked at Harrah's Hotel Casino in Las Vegas, and it's $37 instead of upwards of almost 400. Now that's not 37 per night. That's 37 for all three of those nights, September 2nd through September 5th. If you want to look at a 4-star hotel like the Westgate, $90 for those the second, the third, the fourth, those 3 nights, those 4 days, right? Let's scroll down a little bit. Another 4-star hotel here, $37, $48, $36. So these are the prices that everyone gets them for. Expedia gets it for these prices as well. It's just that Expedia wants to charge you the spread in between, and that's where they make their money. Where, again, with Travorium, we look at just what Travorium purchased them for, and we get it back for that same price. So that's the travel platform. Another example here is a trip that we booked a couple of weeks ago, and it was for this week or last week. It was from June 9th to June 14th. Total price for Harrah's for that week came out to $224 on Travorium. And if you look on the right here at Expedia, it came out to $967.38. Now, guess what? Expedia still got it for the $224.60. This price is not magical because it's us. Everyone got that price, right? But Expedia charged the difference so that they can continue their business model and charge that spread so they can cover their offices, their employees, their advertising, and so on. A model is a model, but I think our model works better because we get it for wholesale pricing, right? So now let's move on to platform number 2. Platform number 2 is called the Getaways platform. Now, the Getaways platform is when Travorium buys different weeks from all over the world and sells it back to us 1 week, where you can choose any place you want to stay for upwards of 7 days, right? It looks just like the platform earlier, except now we're looking at 7-day stays somewhere, a longer vacation, anywhere you basically want to go. Here are the rates you get when you actually book through the Getaway platform. So Canary Islands, Spain, $7 for 7 nights. Cabo San Lucas, $149 for 7 nights. Orlando, Florida, $142 for 7 nights. That's because with our memberships, which I'll dive into in a second, you get 1 or 2 of these trips per year at the most discounted rate, which is the Travorium rate, right? And I'll go into that in just a second. But to give you a live search of what I did earlier, here's a search in the Disney area, Orlando, Florida. So essentially, I'll show you what this looks like. If we scroll down, you have enough points in your bank here to get these trips for $0 for upwards of 3 nights. You have $25 for 3 nights. Let's scroll down to the 7 days. $102 for 7 days. $95 for 7 days. $95 for 7 days. And you get upwards of 2 of these per year when you're on the Platinum membership. And again, I'll show you that in just a second. So that's two of our three platforms there, right? Now, let me move on to the third platform, which is the one that everyone usually has their eyes on. This is the platform that gets everyone excited, and that's the World Tours platform. Now, the World Tours platform is predetermined trips that are set throughout the year, over 100 of them, right? Now, these platforms are pretty much pick the month you want to go and pick the trip you want to go on. Now, doing studies with how travelers are actually booking lately, over 70% of travelers choose to book their own travel. Travel agents are struggling right now because a lot of the times, guys, we go out and you build an itinerary for somebody, and then the client will go behind your back and just book it on their own, right? The world is moving towards self-checkout, right? The world is moving away from the cashier at the register and to the self-checkout booth because they want to do it on their own. So this is the World Tours platform. And as you can see on my left, Alicia, you can see all this clearly, right?
Yep, crystal clear.
Perfect. So there's different months here. You see August of 2024, September of 2024. These are all the predetermined trips that are set in stone, and we get them for our rates. And as a platinum member, which again, I'll go over in just a second, we get upwards of 2 of these a year per account. So household with a husband and wife, you're looking at up to 4 trips a year. And this is why it's so phenomenal. So let's click on Sicily, Italy, just as an example. So this is an example of a 5-star hotel that's all inclusive, for $489 for 2 adults. That's for all 5 days, 4 nights. That's not per night. That's not per adult. That's the all-inclusive price at this location for 2 adults. And we get 2 to 4 of these trips per year. Let me just do 1 or 2 more examples here. They added a cool one that actually we're looking to go on towards the end of the year. Check this one out. They added Cairo, Egypt. Now, Cairo, Egypt is on here. And now, guys, when someone is a part of this program, it's as easy as saying, hey, in December, Egypt is open. Let's try to go here for $299 for a 5-star hotel, breakfast included. All taxes and resort fees are included. Okay, that's for 2 adults for December 4th to 8th. That's not per night. That's for the entire trip. And that's for both adults, right? So really, really simple to use. And it's actually fun for people to use now because they get to see these trips live when they become a member, right? So now here's an example of another world tour one of our partners went on. This was in Miami Beach, Florida at the Trump International. Beautiful place, over $3,000 normally. The world tour was $499, and this was one of the 2 trips that she gets to go on each year. And for $499 for 2 adults, for 4 nights, 5 days, look, included 2 adult yacht dinner cruise tickets. They had the balcony with the ocean view. For a place that's over $3,000, you get it for $499. I mean, it's literally a no-brainer once you see what you can get out of it. Now I'm going to show you guys something else. Before I do, let me just mention that there's an incentive trip. So any new member of Trivorium, forget about those 2 trips you get per year at deeply discounted and the rest of the discounts you get all year. Any new Trivorium member gets what's called an incentive trip. You just get one for joining. Just for joining, you get this free trip, just pay taxes on it. And then you can choose from 39 different countries, 32 different cities in the US. It's a pretty cool incentive. It's not part of Trivorium. It's just a third party that gifted this to all new Trivorium members. It has nothing to do with those 1, 2, or 4 trips you get per year. It has nothing to do with the travel site, the getaway site, or the world tour site. This is just something extra any new signups get just for becoming a member. Okay, so now let's talk money. How much does it cost to become a member, right? So let's go over the 3 memberships, and then I'm going to talk to you guys after that about how to actually get a discount on those memberships, right? So there's 3 memberships with Trivorium. There's silver, titanium, and platinum, also known as silver, small, medium, and the one everybody gets, right? So I'm going to dive into each one briefly. So if you look on your left here, the silver package is $149 one time and then $52.50 a month. What does the silver package get you? Remember that first example we did just with the travel site, not the getaways and not the world tours? Silver gets you just the travel site, which allows you to book hotels, rental cars, resorts, cruises and activities, movie tickets, things like that on there, right? Now let's move to the medium package, titanium. What does titanium get you? Titanium is $229 one time and then $75 a month, right? What does titanium get you? It gets you everything we just saw, except it gets you one of those discounted trips each year. and it gives you access to everything else. Now, what is the one that everyone goes for? And I'll tell you why everyone goes for it in just a second. What does that get you? That's our platinum package, $349 one time and then $135 a month. This gets us everything we just saw and 2 of those world tours or getaway trips per year and discounts on all those trips per year as well. So now I want to go over something to actually get a discount on what we just saw here on these 3 packages. Remember how I said Travorium doesn't advertise? They don't pay for advertising. So how do they advertise? Well, they took the same model as Tesla, Instagram, Facebook. If you notice at the beginning, these companies never advertised. They wished and hoped that their users, their happy users, would express their gratitude for finding a program and sharing it amongst people, right? It's a referral program. Elon Musk did the same thing with Tesla. Anybody who recommended someone to purchase a Tesla, Elon Musk gave them free charging miles, essentially free gas. Look what happened with Facebook and Instagram. A ripple effect took place where they threw that platform into the market and then people just kept sharing it. So Travorium tried to come up with the same thing and they did, and it worked. So Travorium came up with its referral program. What is its referral program? Well, Travorium says if you share this with 3 people, right, who also want to enjoy travel and 3 people join because of you, remember that monthly membership, whether silver, titanium, or platinum, and 52 a month, 75 a month, or 135 a month? Well, if you refer 3 people, Travorium says, hey, as a thank you, we'll pay for your membership from now on. What? So that means that if you join, which paying for it monthly is already worth it because you can see by the pricing that it's already worth it. But if you recommend and refer just 3 partners, just 3 people, your monthly membership gets paid for by Travorium, essentially bringing your monthly total to now 0, and you're still getting the benefits of each of those platforms as if you were still paying for it, right? So also attached to that, just to make it a little bit more juicy for everyone, Travorium said, you know what, we'll also pay out $50 for each referral that comes in through our clients, right? So now if you bring on 3 people, not only do you get your membership fee waived each month and it paid for, but you get $150 back off of what you spent on it in the first place. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Now, Travorium also said, what happens if somebody knows more than 3 people? Well, they figured out a way to compensate those people as well. And I'll go into that in just a second. But before I do, look how smart this is. So now, guys, I just want to put out a warning here. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I'm not any of those things. However, I've consulted with accountants and CPAs, and I have my very own, and I utilize these strategies. So just know, don't take my word for it. Talk to your accountant or CPA. But there is tax savings advantages for doing this. Travorium was smart enough where instead of waiving your membership, they kind of pay your membership for you. So now technically, because you can refer people, technically you're an affiliate. And when you're an affiliate, technically you own a small business. Now, because you own a small business, you get small business tax deductions. So whether you work out of your home office. Well, guys, now you could write off your house, your spouse, your kids, and everything else that you do because you own this small business on the side. And now your accountant could help you write off these things like trips and vacations and dinners, things that are business related, because guess what? This is now a travel business. And it essentially allows you to save. People save on average $400 to $500 a month. And remember that fee to join, even if you join at $349 as a platinum member, technically that was you paying to purchase a little business for yourself because you are technically an affiliate, which is also a write-off. So guys, don't take my word for it. Talk to your accountant, talk to your CPA, and they'll give you the info, I'm sure. If they don't, find a new accountant or a new CPA to do it who knows this kind of stuff, and that's great. So guys, with that being said, there's 3 ways to use our program. Okay, this is where I want to put the fork in the road for everyone. So there's 3 ways to use this travel program. Obviously, number 1 is to save on travel, which we went over. And number 2 is how to get your membership paid for, which we went over. Now, if that's you, if you just want to use this as a travel program and you see the benefits there, that's great. You can drop off the Zoom now. It's a fantastic program. Go back to whoever shared this with you so you can jump on board. However, there's a 3rd way to use this program. And remember how I said Travorium figured out a way to compensate you beyond your first 3 referrals, right? Because yeah, you get your first 3 referrals, you get your membership paid for, but what happens if we do more? Well, that's number 3 on how to use this program. And it's to basically beyond 3, you could earn an additional passive income by going beyond those original three. So if that's you who's the advantageous type to go beyond those original three, stick around because I'm going to dive into exactly what happens here. Trivorium wants to compensate you beyond your three referrals. Now, how do they do that, right? Well, remember I said, once you bring on three people, your membership is paid for, right? Well, this is you at the top here, and these are your three referrals, right? Trivorium's going to pay you $4.45 a day, $137 per month, which covers your $135 a month membership. Your membership is being paid for. Now, let me show you what happens beyond these three referrals. Beyond these three referrals, let's just say you brought on 4 new referrals total. And Trivorium works on what's called a binary system. Don't get confused by that now. We can always go into clarity later, but a binary system just means you have a left team and a right team. So let's just say you brought on 4 referrals and you have 2 referrals on your left and 2 referrals on your right. Perfect. Now, guys, if these 4 referrals didn't turn this into a business, all they did was they wanted to get their membership paid for just like you did, and they just went out and grabbed their 3 referrals, well, guess what? That brings on an additional 6 people on each side, essentially making it 8 members and 8 members, right? When this happens, Trivorium by default upgrades you to what's called 1-star director. Now, remember how you used to pay Trivorium? Well, now it's the opposite, because once this takes place, Trivorium will now start paying you $400 to $700 per month, $5,000 to $8,000 per year, right? So now let's move on. What happens if a few more just dive in now? What happens if those 8 just grab a few people each, right? Don't forget, anything that your referrals bring on to you benefits you, right? So even though you started with just 4, that is the ripple effect, just like Tesla, Facebook, and Instagram, that takes place, where anything that any of your referrals are doing helps you build up these numbers. So now what happens when these numbers reach 25 members and 25 members? Well, now Trivorium upgrades you to what's called 2-star director. And 2-star director pays between $1,500 and $2,500 per month. $18,000 to $30,000 per year. I mean, that's no small chunk of change, especially to some people in some countries and some states here in the US. Like, that's not insignificant. I mean, for things to just take place like this and just a ripple effect, that is a significant income, right? So now let's just say these 25 members on both sides just grab 1 or 2 more people each. They don't even get their 3 each. They just get 1 or 2 more people each, bringing the numbers from 63 to 63 on both sides. This is what's called 3-star director. Now, in 3-star director is when Trivorium will pay you $2,500 to $3,500 per month, $30,000 to $42,000 per year. Okay. Now, let's move on to 2 more ranks. If these 63 and 63 members that are just rippling down because of your initial 4 referrals, if they just grab on 1 new partner each, right? And the numbers happen to jump to 125 and 125, which they will, you're now looking at $4,000 to $5,000 per month and $48,000 to $60,000 per year. Now, this is where things start to get interesting, right? Because this is where I call it the momentum effect. And this is where it can actually be complete life-changing money, right? And it's just happening organically because of sharing a program that works. You've seen why people love this program. If they can save and book travel that easily, it's hard not to share those things. And wait till you see what happens when one of your referrals actually goes on a trip and photo bombs and dumps everything on Facebook and Instagram, and how they're getting a million messages of where you went and what'd you do, and they tell them that they spent $300 to go to Sicily. That's when all of these numbers start to cascade below you, and guess what? You're at the top. You started this whole ripple effect, so it all comes back to you, right? So let me move on to one more rank. If these 125 and 125, if just half of these people bring on just 1 person, you reach a rank called ambassador. An ambassador is when you have 188 on each side. And this is when they'll pay you $9,000 to $11,000 per month, $108,000 to $132,000 per year. This is where this could be career changing, generational changing. This could be the turning point on where all things change. Now, guys, I want you to know that once you build out this position here, technically it's your business. It is sellable and willable. We had a partner in the company 3 years ago Pastor Guy. And what happened with him was him and his wife joined, and his membership was paying him anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 a month. He passed away, and the account was willed to his grandchildren. Fast forward 3 years later, that same account is now producing $15,000 a month for his grandchildren. When he passed away, it was at 1,500. So just know that this could be a generational thing once you start it and dig in, and then the ripple effect starts to take place. And, like Warren Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And what better way to make money in something as fun as travel? Now, guys, one thing I want to say is, because one question I always get is, but what do I do? And if I wanted to do this beyond just the travel program, how do I make it work? Guys, you don't have to figure it out on your own. So we have a team of people here. We do trainings each week. We have tools and systems. We do coaching calls. You never have to fly blind. If you want to tap into cold markets and work on going after groups of people to get new leads, we do that together as a team. We've already figured it out, and we want to help train each and every new partner that comes on to do the same, just so you never have to figure things out on your own. Now, I always want to weigh it by what's the upside and downside risk here, right? Well, guys, if you open up a franchise for yourself or save up to buy a franchise like a McDonald's or a Dunkin' Donuts or a franchise, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars to hopefully get paid maybe six figures a year, and you're also buying yourself a full-time job. Guys, what we were talking about here is your most investment's going to be 350 down, but it's also getting you the travel benefits and the travel membership. So even put that aside for this potential upside gain, it's a no-brainer. And when you put a team like this together who does trainings, who does coaching calls, who has tools and systems to help people build and generate this as a business while they're still using it as a great travel program, I mean, guys, the sky's the limit. And we like to pour into people who want to be poured into, who want to learn and see the vision and want to grow. So guys, with that, if anybody had any questions, you could type it into the Q&A box below. I'll try to get to them now as people ask me. But I just want to say, if this is for you, go back to the person who invited you here to talk to me today. I mean, Alicia and I have been doing this for quite some time now. And, we love coaching new people, and we love bringing people on and just showing people what's possible here. Let me see if there's any questions here. Okay, so someone asked, is this only hotels or also flights? So in the travel site, you can actually search for flights. Flights are its own monopoly, though. It's not us getting a discounted rate on that. It's not like flights are purchased for a wholesale rate and then there's a spread. So you can book flights. It's just not a guaranteed savings on flights. This is built for the resorts, and this is built for the hotels and the stays. Somebody also asked, can a husband and wife join? And yes. So someone's asking, if a husband and wife join, do they share on the benefits? Essentially, yes. So now you get 4 trips a year instead of 2, and anything that you build below you, you both benefit from. It's actually like a double dip. So if you and your wife, or your wife and you join one above the other, any new partners you put below you, you both benefit from at the same time. So I hope that helped answer that question. All right, perfect. So that was the end of the questions. Guys, go back to whoever shared it with you if you need clarity, extra clarity, or if you want to be onboarded. It's super simple. Start with your program, start building this with us, and we'd love to see you in our training programs and calls. So Alicia, thanks for being here today with us. And thank you guys for joining in today.
Thanks, guys.